Athlete of the Year 2024 Caitlin Clark. Few jobs require less physical exertion than rebounding for Caitlin Clark. On an early November morning in downtown Indianapolis, Clark, the two-time College National Player of the Year for the University of Iowa, reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year from the Indiana Fever, and emergent American sports icon, sprints to different spots along the three-point line at the Fever practice gym, trying to bang as many shots as possible over a 6-minute span. A Fever coach has tasked me with standing under the basket to retrieve her misses. But as Clark runs all over the court to launch long-range bombs, I barely have to move. Swish, swish, swish. She hits 14 shots in a row. A dozen in a row. 11 in a row. Swish, swish, swish. 9 in a row. Another 9. Sure, she's putting on this display in practice. But her ability is still mesmerizing. Clark, 22, takes shots with a degree of difficulty never before witnessed in the women's game. Her signature 30-feet launches from near half-court on team logos across America are akin to home run balls, hanging high in the air. Can she actually make that flabbergasting attempt? Yes. It turns out. Over and over again, after her workout, I fill Clark in on the statistics from her shooting session. 93 three-pointers in 6 minutes. Good for an 85% success rate. Wow. She responds from the driver's seat of her gray Lexus GX. That's pretty good. Nice to know that after wowing so many around the world throughout her record-breaking year, Clark can still impress herself. In February, she set the new NCAA Division I women's basketball scoring record. A few weeks later, she broke Hall of Famer Pete Maravich's mark, making her the top scorer overall. Her college championship game between Iowa and South Carolina averaged 18.9 million viewers, becoming the second most watched women's sporting event, outside the Olympic Games, in the history of U.S. television, with American viewership outdrawing that of each game of the 2024 NBA Finals and World Series. And for the first time ever, more people tuned in for the women's NCAA championship than the men's. As a pro, she set a rookie record for most three-pointers made in a season, while also setting new all-time WNBA marks for most assists in a season and most assists in a single game. She signed a reported $28 million endorsement deal with Nike, the largest ever for a women's basketball player. Clark's Fever appeared in the most-watched WNBA games ever on ABC, CBS, ESPN, and ESPN2. The WNBA attracted an all-time record of more than 54 million unique viewers across all its national broadcasting platforms during the regular season, and the league's overall attendance jumped 48% year-over-year to its highest level in more than 2 decades. The Fever broke the WNBA record for home attendance by a single franchise, and Fever games were moved to NBA and NHL arenas in Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C., to accommodate the hordes of fans, many donning Clark's number 22 jersey. The Washington Mystics Fever regular season finale set a new WNBA single-game attendance record of 2711. When asked to define her year in one word, Clark chooses historic. Clark, it quickly becomes clear, is polite and down-to-earth, but also has not an ounce of false humility. I've been able to captivate so many people that have never watched women's sports, let alone women's basketball, and turn them into fans, she says. Good luck naming another player who altered the trajectory of their entire team's sport within 5 months on the job. Lionel Messi had a monumental influence on Major League Soccer when he arrived in Miami last year, but he was in year 20 of his pro career. Michael Jordan energized the NBA in the mid-1980s, but Larry Bird and Magic Johnson had already put the league on solid footing. While other female athletes have pushed the limits of human achievement and created their own cultures, Serena Williams, Simone Biles, and the stars of the U.S. women's national soccer team all come to mind. The Clark phenomenon is still unprecedented. It's one thing to rally around athletes during global spectacles like tennis majors or an Olympics or a World Cup. It's quite another to turn routine regular season games in the WNBA, a league neglected for far too long over its 27-year history, into appointment viewing.